Hello, hello, hello. This is Emma Sydney, your Streamline strategist. And today we've got something a little bit different when it comes to the live, because I'm going to do a little bit of more training, still my normal style of what I do, but every now and then I do these little trainings. So I thought I'd do one today on energetic productivity, and this has been developing for a while, although the name only came about last week, funnily enough, when I went to do a productivity workshop at Jodie's TP weekend. Now I'm going to give you the warning as normal that anything can happen on these trainings, and today I am dog sitting the lovely Sam, so who knows, if he sees someone he barks, and at the moment he's sat beautifully under the table. Anyway, I want to get on with this training because I really don't want it to take forever, and I can talk, so I have notes and I have water. So anyway, I wanted to first just say, if you're new to the Facebook page, then you will find out all about me on the Facebook page, and you will see plenty of lives. So do check that out, and I have developed a little guide to go along with this training, which you can access and you can download by clicking on the link in this in this video, which it will become. So I wanted to start a little bit first with our perception of what productivity and being efficient and streamlined means, because it's got quite a transactional corporate feeling when we talk about it. And I think especially if, like me, you're transitioning or you've transitioned from the corporate world, or you're very creative, the idea of productivity and efficiency can feel a little bit grey, corporate, performance target driven, and all of that kind of stuff. But that has its place. We do need a little bit of structure, and the number of people I've spoken to who said, when I write it down and I set out to do it and I achieve it, I feel great. But it feels a bit icky, it feels like it's restrictive, and I can't keep doing it. It's not something I can do consistently. And I get that, but that's because we're trying to do it in the same way as everyone else. There's lots of productivity and time management folk out there, and they're all teaching this in a way that is very structured. We need some structure, but we also need the flow. So in applying the idea of energetic productivity, it's about you finding that balance between structure and flow. Now, another thing in all of this is sometimes when our businesses are growing, when our life is growing, we can become resistant. And we might know this logically, but those excuses around having, making our life easier, having a little bit of structure in our life, I can't do that, or even the opposite end of the angle, sort of thing, being really, really driven and getting on with it, and when you're in flow and almost overdoing it to the point of exhaustion. And sometimes it's ending up being that kind of like this of, I'm not liking the structure, so I'm being really creative, but it means I'm not getting stuff done. Or the other end is, I'm getting so much done, but I exhaust myself. And this is where we need to apply energetic productivity. And I've identified the 6 P's of productivity. You'll notice I love frameworks, and that's what I use to help me and others to make this happen. So it's having a framework, which then means that frees you up to be experimental. So we're looking at structure and flow and balance within this. So the 6 P's of productivity, I know what they are, but I've got them written down because it keeps me on track. The first one is pause. And this went down a storm at the workshop I ran the other week, because it's about creating space and time to pause. this isn't about meditation. It is about being mindful. So it's about sitting and thinking, this is what I'm going to be doing, putting that thought into the universe, checking in with yourself about, am I in the right space to be doing this? Am I doing something that's really important, or am I getting distracted? And this is really a crucial thing when we're in a busy space. If you're seeing a lot of clients or you're dashing here, there, and everywhere with kids, just to create some pause in your day, think about your week to make sure you're focusing on what's important. It also will help you say no to things as well. The second P is, oh, the dog's moving, positive thinking. Because in all of this, we can get quite negative about productivity and efficiency and having structure. And actually, that brings a block all of its own. If that's what we're thinking about productivity, about getting out there, about doing things, then it's not really in alignment with the law of attraction and that idea of energy and flow. So some of this is about, I mean, it's positive thinking more broadly, but it is about productivity as well and how that can support. I always say that productivity is about being kind to your future self. Why are you sighing? He's sighing under there. Come here, come here. So yeah, so that to me is what positive thinking is. So that's the second P of productivity. Come here. The third P is patience. And patience to me is a key factor in all of this, because so often we're over ambitious in what we're trying to do and setting ourselves into that energy of productivity, of getting stuff done, which is a good energy to be in, but it can take longer. There can be emergencies. We can be over ambitious. And things will unravel as they need to unravel. See, this is why this is about energetic productivity, because it's about harnessing the law of attraction. It's about bringing abundance into our life. It's about accepting that sometimes we go on a wibbly wobbly journey, and that does require patience. The more you can apply patience within the idea of being productive and efficient, the more when you're planning, you will set yourself up to succeed. And that's the other one of the other P's, which I'll move on to. Because once we've got the first three P's, which are very much mindset and energetic P's, they're creative P's, in place, and we're setting up those ideas of pause, of patience, of positive thinking, then we can move on to the more practical, tangible side of productivity. Because we're in the right space, we're creating thinking time, and we're being patient. And patience will support all of that, because that will reduce the frustration around things not happening as quickly as we want them to, even when we put structure in place. And it will help that structure and that planning, which is one of the other P's, to be more adaptable, to flow more, to accept that things happen in life that we can't predict, to slow down sometimes and be more realistic about what we're going to achieve. Because that's often what happens. We get into this zone, we're doing it all, and things happen, and we haven't got that resilience to be able to adapt, because we're so like, I've got to do this, when we get into that planning and implementation zone. So the next P that I'm going to talk about is purpose. To me, this is a key, crucial thing in every part of life, purpose, because it's the driver, it's the element of why. It's the why am I doing what I'm doing, and it needs to be flow throughout everything that you're doing, because if we don't engage with why, then it's easy to get frustrated, demotivated, it's easy to say yes to things, to energy drainers, and we can get lost. So that's why, you know, purpose is such a key, crucial ingredient of energetic productivity. Then the next one is planning. And this is planning in a way that really works for you. It's connecting it to your purpose, to your vision, and putting a flow and a structure around planning that takes potentially what other people teach. And I've developed the Changemaker framework to support all of this, which I will, which is a bonus training. If you sign up on the website, you can just access it in the resources library. And it will take you through the how of doing all of this, because planning needs to be something, again, that you do that really works for you. It's no good planning in the way that everyone else says to plan. Yes, that requires tweaks, which is where the Changemaker framework comes in, because there's an opportunity and a space for tweaking, for adapting. And it might be you follow somebody else's approach until you can go, you know what, this is going to work better for me. And this is where, again, resistance can come in, because people will say, I'm creative, I can't do it the way that everyone else does it, because a lot of people teach planning in quite a linear way, which I kind of do too, but I teach it in an adaptable linear way, because we need to have some kind of structure around planning. But to me, planning is bringing in all the different elements of your life. It's looking at conflicts. This is where the Changemaker framework really comes into its own in how you implement energetic productivity. And then finally, and there's an overlap in a lot of this as well, which is why I'm talking about it. And finally, the sixth P of productivity is practical action, because we need to be out there, we're using the tools, using the different techniques, taking action, being kind to our future self in a way that is the foundation of what we're doing. It doesn't stifle us working with clients, our creativity and all of that, but it supports it. And it is being kind to our future self. So it's not all up here because you know what you're doing. It makes life so much easier if we're taking action in a way that works for us. And like I say, this all flows into the Changemaker framework, which really is the how you implement energetic productivity. And you can access, I didn't want to put all of that into this training because I wanted this live to be relatively short, and it's 12 minutes already. So what I'd say is, if you want to look at this in more detail and look at how you can implement it, you can access the bonus training. I don't send out lots of emails and stuff because most of the action takes place in my Facebook group. That's where we're going to go deeper onto all of this, and there is a link for you to, once you've completed the sign-in, there's a link for you to join the Facebook group as well, but you can join it anyway. It's the Changemakers Mastermind, and it's on my page. So that's it really. This is what energetic productivity is. I love it. It's exciting to me. It's about really taking the structure but the flow of productivity, and that's how I see productivity. I see it about a support, an enabler for you to have an amazing life and an amazing business, but it needs to work for you. It's about you applying it in a really positive way and changing how you think potentially about it. So it's not a driven thing, and it's not a restrictive thing. It's something that creates flow throughout your business and your life. So I do hope that that's been super helpful. Any questions, please do ask and I will respond. So have a fantastic rest of your day, and I will speak to you soon.